Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Welcome to the 91st episode of Retrotopia. My name is Brian and I'm going to be your host for this week's show. And of course, this week we're taking a tropical vacation to Rook Island, the setting of this week's game, Far Cry 3. If you're just here for the game chat, head about 20 minutes down the road and you should find it, but we hope you stay because we like to have a little bit of fun with these intros. But before we begin all this fun, I got to get the boilerplate stuff out of the way, so if you could, wherever you are, rate this 5 stars and leave a comment or whatever you would like to do, it'd be greatly appreciated. Helps us get seen, helps us grow. And of course, if you want to join our social media, you can find it all at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. It includes Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, a link to our Discord, and of course our merch site, which is retrotopia.dashery.com. And you can use the link in the description of this podcast as well. And there you can find t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, stickers, and much, much more. We currently have about 6 to 8 designs. I can't remember exactly. And we're always working on more. And of course, we have a Patreon. The Patreon has 2 tiers. You can join for free and get in on all the fun with the commenting and the joining in on polls and all that sort of stuff. Or you can pay $2 a month and join the Hero tier, like our 2 newest Patreon members, H, or I think his name is. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. And Super Jess. Thank you guys for your support and everybody else who supported us as well. And with their $2 support, they get access to Retrotopia After Dark, which is our pre-show banter. New Game Plus, which is a show where one of us, both of us, or all of us will talk about newer games. And of course, they get to pick a game to be reviewed by their host of their choice for Quick Play. Quick Play being a short review by one of us on a game that just might not be long enough for a review or one that we can't all get a hold of. But of course, if you are on the free tier, it's perfectly fine. We absolutely love your support. You can listen to Quick Play, or you can listen to Retro Bites, which is our monthly get-together where we just talk about different subjects video game related, and you get it 15 days early, and we add an extra topic for the Patreons. You can also suggest topics for polls, which we run approximately every quarter. We should have one coming up soon. You can vote on said polls, and you can comment about the games we talk about, like today's game, or you can write into the host on the 9-bit banter box, because it's culturally elegant. And our first question comes from The Big Deal, and he says, given your namesake, I have a doozy of a Mary Fuck Kill for you. Mega Man, Kid Icarus, and Simon Belmont. The catch is they are the versions from Captain N the Game Master. Now, to explain the namesake is that I go by the handle Captain N on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and of course Discord itself, outside of our own Discord. If you've ever seen Captain N, the Game Master, the characters that are in the game are, in the show, are Mega Man, who is this short little gruff voice, tough guy, I guess you could call him. Simon Belmont, the chiseled jaw pretty boy who flirts with everybody he can. And you have Kid Icarus, who is a cherub who uses the suffix icus on any word he can, and it is really, really dumb. One day I hope we're going to actually review this show, and I'm going to bring it up to the boys there. I think we've already discussed it, and it's just a matter of time. I can wear them down eventually. But yeah, so let's get into this. First off, I'm going to fuck Mega Boy. I'm going to fuck him back into his awesome self. Turn him from a Mega Boy into a Mega Man, because he needs to be fixed. I'll marry Simon Belmont because he looks like he's a provider. He has, the chiseled jaw, the big upper body, looks healthy, very bright white teeth. Definitely somebody you want to breed with. I'll have his babies. And I'll kill Kid Icarus. He flew too close to the sun, and now he has to go. And quite honestly, I don't like that character in that show. He's just, I don't even know how to describe him. He's just boring. But that's my order. So yeah, fuck Mega Man, marry Simon Belmont, and kill Kid Icarus. Hopefully that satisfies you there, the big deal. Moving on to Game Genius, who says, you're stuck in a desert island and you get to play 2 games for the rest of your life. Which do you choose and why? Then he lists off 3 games: Legend of Zelda 2 for the NES, Super Mario Bros. 2, the US version, and Castlevania 2 for the NES. Really easy on this one. Super Mario Bros. 2 because it is a timeless classic, and Castlevania 2, which I'm sure some people are surprised at. But honestly, Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest is one of the games I played a lot as a kid. If I got to choose the games, however, Red Dead Redemption 2 because it's 100 plus hours to complete the entire game, 100% it. Oh, and I'd probably pick up Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't even know how long that game is, but I know people have been playing it for 300, 400, 500 hours. That'd be the rest of my life anyways. Thank you very much, Game Genius. Hopefully that answered your question. And moving on to Mr. Hooley, who happily changed his original question, which is not going to no longer cause awkwardness in my life. But he asks, well, hello, Brian. You have 2 options for an excitingly terrifying vacation this weekend. Taking a submarine down to the Mariana Trench or taking a rocket to the moon to collect rocks. Good luck with your travels. Quite honestly, both would be neat there, bud. I would have to think about it, but working it out. The Mariana Trench, it would crush me under the weight of her thighs of pressure. Very sexy way to go. And then the moon would take me to my weight loss goal. So I'm going to have to go with the moon because, let's be honest, all this trying to lose weight stuff is tedious on Earth. If I go to the moon, I lose that weight automatically. So let's go to the moon and pick rocks. Also gets me away from the garbage that is this planet for a while. Maybe I'll just carry on and see if I can't push to the next planet. Or just die floating through space. You never know. Either or could be a good option. Alright, moving on to Blaine the Hogan Man. Since we're talking the definition of insanity here, what's something in a video game that you tried doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for a different result, then once you tried something different, you finally got the results you wanted? I had to think about this one for a little bit, but I am going to go with stealth missions. Either games that are designed for it or games that aren't designed for it. There's actually a particular point in Far Cry 3 where you kind of have to sneak around, and I used to try to sneak through this base, but it turns out you can just sneak around it and you're good to go. But yeah, it's often I will be doing a stealth mission, like say Splinter Cell or something along those lines, and you're sneaking through and you're taking the same path thinking all you have to do is like pluck the guard at a certain time, but you keep getting caught, and then you think you're just going to brute force your way through it by continuously trying it the same way until you get the right answer at that point. But what you don't realize is you were supposed to make a left back 3 points ago, and then you just try it again. You start it all over, you take a fresh look at it, maybe take a day off, and you got it. Bingo bango, it's done. That's about it. That is my definition of insanity. I will try stealth the same way way too often before I finally give up and go back and try again. Alright, moving on to H, or as I like to call him, he says, after listening to the Force Unleashed episode, one of the thoughts I had was one of the appeals to me of the game was it let me live out my dream of being an overpowered badass Jedi Sith. Are there any games you can think of that let you live out your dream you had at some point in the game that let you be super OP? Kind of like when Goku first went Super Saiyan in DBZ. Since you mentioned Dragon Ball Z, I'm going to have to say Kakarot. Let me live out my dream of actually being Goku and some of the Z Warriors. Fight as Gohan, Vegeta, and all the good ones. Another game that actually fulfilled my childhood interest was Mega Man X. It hit when I had this love of robots and people who armored up. So the fact that Mega Man X gets upgraded pieces of armor throughout the series was something I found really appealing, and I absolutely love that. There's TV shows that did that as well, and of course like Power Rangers and all those, so I always loved that human to powered up armored person thing. So Mega Man X was a good game. Then there's Batman Arkham Asylum, which let me be a pretty damn good Batman. Well, not to the bad guys, but you know what I'm talking about. But the one that really, really let me live out my fantasy of being a one-man killing machine was the Splinter Cell franchise. I really do love stealth games because I love being meticulous when I move about a level, even in like Far Cry's, Red Dead Redemption and all those things. I like to mark all the enemies before I go in a killing, and Splinter Cell is one of those games where you can take your time and really be meticulous as you go through a level, and you can sneak, and the whole point is not to get seen. But I have this like weird fetish where I can't finish a level unless I've killed everybody in the level. So it's definitely the one I would say is the one that lets me live out my fantasy of sneaking around and killing people. But we'll keep that between me and my therapist. All right, moving on to Blue Yoshi 94. He says, "Hello, Brian. Hope you're having a good day. My question is, what is the best variation of Tetris?" First, thank you, Blue Yoshi. I am having a fantastic day. Thank you for asking. As for the best version of Tetris, it's 100% the original Tetris. I don't think they've ever improved on it. I mean, you can talk about Tetris 99. You can talk about... what's that other one with all the music stuff? You got a 3D Tetris that is from a top-down version. No, it's the original Tetris, especially on the Game Boy. That one still holds up to today. It has great music. It's a simplistic a puzzle game that you don't need to put a lot of thought into. You can just sit there and let the bricks fall and put them where they lay, and then you get better as you go along. It actually helps your brain. Then you get the Tetris effect there, and next thing you know, you're looking at stuff on the bookshelf and you're like rearranging the books in your mind because that's all you can see is the blocks moving around. It's a real condition, trust me. I'm a doctor on a podcast, I think. But no, 36 years as of 31st of July 2025, this game still holds up. So I'm going to go the OG Tetris. I've never found one that has interested me as much as that one. And it's not just the Game Boy one. Like, that's my preferred one. It could actually be any version of the original Tetris that isn't gussied up with fancy graphics, blowing up blocks or anything like that. I just like the original Tetris. All right, moving on to Super Dave. On the topic of reviewing games, do you have more fun talking about a game you enjoy or ripping apart a game you despise? I really like this question because I've thought about this on my own, to be honest. Early on in the show, we played some games I just absolutely hated, looking at you, Ren and Stippy. And I don't know, I try to go into every review being objective. Like, I am not by any means an expert. This is completely a subjective podcast, so I'm not sitting there talking about how video games are made or what's in the mind of the developer or anything like that. So it's an objective review of a person who has only so much time in his life to play video games, who enjoys retro video games, and is bringing his memories and his current experience into this sphere. And that's pretty much my goal. So I always try to remember things like people worked on the game. There's always a fan base for whatever game it is, so you're going to piss somebody off if you're negative. I don't like being negative anymore. I was a very negative person in my life, and I've been trying to change that and be more positive. I'll still fall into the bad habits of negativity, but I'm getting better. And of course, there's good in every game, even if it's just like a little glimmer. So you got to look at that as well. I do enjoy when I do have a good time with the game because I am more passionate about it, or especially like you joined me for Xenoblade Chronicles. I was one of those games that I spent so long not wanting to play for no other reason than it didn't immediately grab me, and then when I pushed through that beginning part, the story just hooked me, and I had such a great time playing the game, especially as I made it through every different part. And we talked about that on the episode we did, Super Dave. So I really like reviews like that. If I don't like the game, I don't have as much fun, but I still try to take it on with respect to the game and the developers and the people who put the time into it. That's about it. So to answer your question directly, I prefer when I enjoyed the game. I imagine everybody does. And if I ever find a game so bad that all I want to do is tear it apart, I think I would have fun tearing it apart as well. But it would have to be a really bad game. Thank you very much for the question, Super Dave. And finally, we have Sharkbite, who says, you have a choice between having grown up in the 80s with all the films, songs, and games, or you have to grow up with now with the current state of things. What do you choose? 100% I choose the 80s. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The 80s was awesome. I grew up in the 80s. I was born at the beginning of the 80s, so that's my answer, is the 80s. They had better movies. The movies were great. So, Stallone's, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, all these guys were at the peak of their game. Action movies were awesome. Gangster movies were better. Yet Star Wars was already out for you Star Wars nerds. So there wasn't really anything you needed to wait for or you were losing out of this one. The games, they weren't overly complicated. You had the Atari systems, you had the ColecoVision, all those kind of ancient systems, and then you had the Nintendo and the Master System. These were fantastic systems, and they still hold up today. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing retro video game podcasts. And of course, arcades were still popular at the time. So, I mean, the big arcades where you had these places you could walk into and there'd be all the classic video games there, not these little gotcha cell phone games and arcade ticket things you get nowadays. Also, I was a kid. There was no taxes back when I was that age. I didn't have to worry about it. Paying bills and stuff like that was done automatically through parental paychecks. And of course, music was already hitting its peak at this point. Hair bands like Twisted Sister, you didn't need GTA 3 to listen to that, and you had some great rock and roll going on from the 70s and the 60s still, so it was a great time to be alive. I mean, just Saturday morning cartoons with a bowl of cereal, fighting with my brother. I would not give it up for anything in this world. But that's it. That is my answer. I would take the 80s over nowadays any days. Thank you very much for the question, and thank you everybody for the questions, and we're going to move on. So what have I been playing? Not much. I've got family over, so I haven't had a lot of gaming time. I've been trying to power through Far Cry 3 just as a refresher. I've already played it once this year, so I know pretty much what's going on. I just needed to play it again because, well, first off, it's Far Cry 3, and secondly, I just needed to get myself a reminder of some of the parts of the game that are really good. Really, really good. I also dabbled in some Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 because my son downloaded it on the Xbox, so I had to do it. And then I picked up SimCity 4 again, just for something relaxing to play. I love SimCity 4. It's probably the best of the entire franchise. I really wish they would build a proper SimCity that's like 4, but with more modern graphics and actually will scale to the size of my monitor. But that's all I've been playing. It's not a long one. Yeah, I went on a vacation, went to Niagara Falls, Canada. It was expensive. Been there, done that 3 times now in my life, and I don't think I'm ever going to go back. It's not for me. I don't like the touristy stuff, and when you leave the touristy area, Niagara Falls is just a meh-looking town. I prefer where I live. All right, so that's it. Before we go any further, we always like to give Alan the floor so we can enjoy that sweet British voice and what we call the Gentleman's Interlude.
Welcome to the breathtaking paradise of the Rook Islands. Pack your bags and escape to the stunning tropical archipelago, where adventure, excitement, and unforgettable memories await you. Nestled deep in the South Pacific, the Rook Islands are your next must-visit destination for the ultimate getaway. A place where lush jungles meet pristine beaches and every day is a new thrill. Brought to you by Ubisoft Montreal, the masterminds behind some of the most immersive open-world experiences, Far Cry 3 invites you to explore this vibrant, sun-soaked paradise that's anything but ordinary. Originally released on November 29, 2012, this award-winning action-adventure game has since captivated players on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and PC, and later expanded to next-gen consoles, making it accessible for a new generation of explorers. Imagine waking up on the shores of a tropical island, Your vacation taking an unexpected twist as you find yourself stranded in a land ruled by danger and beauty in equal measure. The Rook Islands offer an intoxicating blend of thrilling wildlife encounters, ancient mysteries, and breathtaking vistas, all waiting for you to uncover. Whether you're soaring over the treetops in a gyrocopter, diving deep beneath crystal clear waters to explore hidden shipwrecks, or sneaking through dense jungle foliage to outsmart hostile mercenaries, the Rook Islands promise an adventure like no other. Don't just soak up the sun. Hunt exotic animals, craft essential gear, and unlock powerful skills to survive and thrive in this wild paradise. Looking for relaxation? The island's golden beaches and vibrant night skies provide the perfect backdrop for your evening bonfires and island festivities. But beware, this holiday comes with a pulse-pounding story of survival, friendship, and the fight against ruthless pirate warlords. Will you rise from castaway to hero? So why wait? The Rook Islands are calling. Are you ready to answer? Jump into Far Cry 3 for a holiday adventure that's equal parts paradise and pulse racing action. Book your trip now. No passport needed, just a console or PC and a thirst for adventure. Escape the ordinary, embrace the wild, and experience the Rook Islands like never before. It's a trip you'd be insane to miss.
All right, Alan, thank you very much. As always, I always love when you put these together. A lot of work goes into it, and he nails it every time. So before we get into this week's game, we do have some comments from the listeners, starting with Game Genius. And Game Genius, I have to tell you, I actually, I'm going to censor some of your comment because it has some major spoilers in it, and we don't want to get into that probably until later in the episode. So if it doesn't sound like exactly what you wrote, I just took out, I think, 2 sentences in midway through. So Game Genius says, I played this game as soon as it was released on the 360. At first, I thought it was great. You can kill animals and make items out of them, and the villain was super crazy and full of personality. Problem is, the gameplay loop is seriously repetitive. Discover a tower, take out the baddies, and unlock the tower to widen your map view and repeat. It was the exact same thing over and over again. This is where the spoiler was cut, and then he finishes off with, to me, the first Far Cry was the best. It had the usual man versus entire army story, but the gameplay was much more fun, and you got to fight soldiers and crazy mutants. Will not disagree, but Far Cry 1 is not in my top 2. I'll probably get into that in the episode. Definitely, it is high up on my list. I think probably put it number 3, actually, if I had to put it somewhere. All right, Mr. Hooley says, oh, hey, this is on my list of games to play this year. Can't wait to hear the review. Well, it's happening now, buddy. You can hear it now. And finally, Sharkbite, says, one of the best Far Cry games out there in terms of setting and gameplay. Well said. So we're going to start with a little music here, and I just want to thank everybody for the questions and everything this week, everybody who wrote in, all our Patreons, and all those people who support us. Thank you very much. And now, here we go. We are going to move into the game chat, and we are talking Far Cry 3, developed by Ubisoft Montreal, published by Ubisoft in a time where they were a better company, released on the 29th of November 2012 for the Steam, PS3, and Xbox 360. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed the show. as you heard in the intro, we are talking about Far Cry 3, one of the best Ubisoft games in my opinion, so you probably can already guess the score I'm going to give it. And of course, joining me is another Far Cry fan, Alan, and of course, Mr. 8 himself, Sam.
Mr. 8? What is that?
You're going to give it an 8, I bet you any money.
Fuck no. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. I didn't enjoy this as much as you did. My favorite Ubisoft game is Mario Rabbids, and that's it.
I mean,
no.
Whatever Sam gives it is almost certainly going to be a far cry from an 8. But it might be.
I'm literally going to clip out.
It would be a 3.
I'm going to clip. Yeah. I'm going to clip out from another episode, just Sam saying 8, and then every episode, I don't care what he gives the score, I'm just going to slip that clip in there. It's always going to be 8.
Or just record yourself saying 8, and it just sound even funnier.
Yeah, that would. Like, I'll give it an 8. 8.
Well, we have fun here. All right, boys. Let's skip all the pleasantries because we just did retro bites, and I don't think we really have any more to talk about with each other because, we just did. But history of the game. Let's start with you, Alan. What's your history with Far Cry, the series, and in Far Cry 3?
Well, Brian, that's a very good question, and I'm going to answer it. Stalling for time. No, Far Cry is... So I'm pretty sure I got Far Cry Instincts with my Xbox 360 back when I bought it. Not exactly at launch, but it wouldn't have been that long after. And I dabbled with it. I don't remember getting very far, at least then. I mean, I've since played it through, but I thought it was kind of cool. Looked gorgeous. Just something was missing. It just didn't have that something that kept me hooked. So I kind of dipped out of the series for a bit. And it wasn't until, I guess, a few years later that a friend of mine told me to give Far Cry 3 a try. And I was like, okay, whatever. And this game just hooked me. Hook, line, and sinker. Because it had all of that exploration. It had, like, true open world stuff, and I seem to remember things like Instincts being not necessarily linear, but not as vast as Far Cry 3. And I just loved the style of it. I just loved the gameplay, and I've played it a few times now, and enjoyed it every single time. I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay, Sam, you're new to the series, are you not?
Yeah, I've never played a Far Cry, so this is my first one.
So we're going to save your opinion for the episode. My first, I experienced the original Far Cry. It's one of the first PC games I bought, and I was blown away by the graphics, even though, like, by today's standards, it's blocky, and it still does hold up quite well. I fell off the series until 2 came out, so I didn't play any of like Far Cry Instincts or anything like that. And then 2 just took me away, and that's where I kind of got hooked on the series, and that's kind of where I got hooked on open world first person shooter games.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, Far Cry 3 came out, and it was just natural. I was going to pick it up day one, and I got hooked, like Alan said, and it's been history since then. I've played pretty much every Far Cry from that point on. Not a super great story, but you know what? This is Ubisoft when Ubisoft was at their best.
Oh, big time. I've got a question, though, for you, based on what you just said. It's kind of on topic. Far Cry and Far Cry Instincts, what's the difference there?
I'm not 100% sure, because I actually did not hear about Far Cry Instincts, so I'm actually looking it up as we talk. And now I'm just doing what you did and talking for time while I try to read and talk at the same time, which is not going well.
Oh, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. I put you on
no,
the spot.
because I haven't really been able to read a word while talking. It's a remake of the original Windows version of Far Cry. Instinct is less open-ended and more linear due to the console's reduced processing power.
Okay. Well, that's obviously why I found it a bit more linear. Okay. Question asked and answered. Thank you, Brian.
There you go. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Oh, I looked it up on the Wikipedia.
Now I have a question from just a general standpoint, because this game I think came out during a time that I wasn't playing a lot of games, and I really wasn't into the like Xbox 360, PS3 era. Was this kind of, or Far Cry in general, was that kind of the start of this open world tower exploration type mechanic? Is this kind of the genesis of that? And now we see it a lot, and like my experience with it is like Zelda Breath of the Wild and like Far Cry, or not Far Cry, Horizon.
I think it's, without being able to you have any empirical evidence in front of me, I think this was the era where it started, and a lot of games are starting to come out like this, these open world, I guess like, the ones where you're in the city, and then you have the infamous games and stuff like that, where it was more sandbox, and then they tried to expand the world a lot, and this kind of jumped on that and gave the first-person shooter perspective of it all. So I think that's what Far Cry brought to the game.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's definitely a Ubisoft staple, though, isn't it? The open world, the collectibles, the towers. I mean, I have to think. I'm going to take a stab and say Assassin's Creed came out before this. Was Assassin's Creed 2007? I think
Assassin's Creed,
which I've also never played, so that's another like
2007.
Yeah. So that's to me, that's sort of my earliest experience with this kind of climb the tower, open the map, see where you can go next mechanic. And
and Far Cry 2, which would be more open world than Far Cry was, came out in 2008. So yeah, that would be probably where this whole open world tower exploration style game came about.
Okay.
I definitely prefer it in Assassin's Creed. I'll tell you that much.
Well, let's go on that topic. We'll start off with the towers, because in later Far Cries they actually got rid of that, and in Far Cry 5 they make a joke about it at the beginning of the game. Do you like or dislike the concept of unlocking the map through finding specific points that you have to do kind of a platforming puzzle to get up?
I'm going to defer to Sam on this one.
Oh, buddy. I don't mind the concept in general. I mean, I loved Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and Horizon is a fun game. So, like, I don't mind it in concept. And even, like, in those games like this one, the ones that you can access, I mean, you can do them in any order you want, pretty much, with some limits. But the ones that you are most likely to tackle earlier on are pretty easy. Like, I think the first tower in this game is, like, you find it and you just walk up the steps, and that's it. They get more and more challenging as you go further away from the radius of, where you started. But some of the, like, I don't like first person platforming, quote unquote, in general, and this game does not do it particularly well. So some of the towers, I would always try to, especially if I had an objective in an area that wasn't explored, I'd always try to hit that tower first so that I wasn't lost on some back road getting shot at by enemies and shit. Some of those towers are just bullshit, though. Like, I mean, the jumps that, I understand that it's kind of a puzzle, but some of the jumps that some of them had you make were stupid, and I would end up there was one where you were supposed to, like, vault over a bent piece of metal, and you could either vault over it, I guess, or slide underneath, as I found out, because my dude just slid underneath and just yeeted off the tower. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
There is nothing more frustrating when you've made your way up at this rickety fucking tower and you just miss one landing and just fall right the way to the bottom and invariably die. And I'm gonna have plenty to say about that later on.
Yeah.
I have to
see.
I was just gonna say, I have to wonder though, with some of these towers later on in the game, Jason, dude, just push the fucking thing over. It's held together by spit and hope at this point. Just what are you doing?
Aren't you activating the towers?
I think you're just getting rid of the scramblers from the towers. I mean, you can do that on the floor.
Yeah, so if you knocked over the tower, I mean, I thought the whole point of the tower was literally just to broadcast that part of the map, but I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to them. I'm not a fan of them either. to be honest, is probably the worst part about this game for me. I kind of like the concept of revealing the map as you go over it.
Yeah.
Like in Far Cry 5. And I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep bouncing between this and Far Cry 5 because a lot of concepts are the same and a lot of concepts are different. And I'll explain which one did it better in my opinion. But no, the towers, I agree with Sam on this, oddly enough. You'd think with the way I was joking that I'd be against them. But yeah, it becomes tedious. Like every time you get to a new spot on the map, you run for that tower, you climb the tower, you unlock it, you find out where all the bases are, you go, you snipe your way through all the bases, liberating that part of the island, and then repeat.
Yeah.
That is a big negative for this game, is it is a very repetitive formula.
I guess so. And I did not need those towers to be as difficult as they were because it's not the thing that I'm looking forward to doing. It's just like I just want to get here so that I can see everything else, the things that I want to be doing. Why make this? I mean, you look at Assassin's Creed. You're literally climbing up the tower, and some of those climbs can be a bit tricky, granted. But by and large, it's just picking your path and making your way up. There's very little that can go wrong. It's just like when all I want to do is see the rest of the map. Why am I dying on this thing so fucking often?
Well, it even makes more sense in Assassin's Creed because you don't have technology to draw the map for you. And another thing, they went to this island and nobody has a copy of a map. Like, you can't see your physical paper map in front of you until these towers are unlocked.
No, that I would believe because what we've done is we've kind of glossed over the setting the table for this game, and you've got this group of friends, kind of preppy kids on holidays doing the whole gap year kind of living on the edge kind of thing, and they find themselves skydiving over this island, and it's all fun and games until they land and are captured by pirates and basically threatened to be sold into slavery, I guess. So it takes a real violent lurch.
Well,
but these
the whole concept is that they're going to ransom the rich kids' parents for a bunch of money, then sell them to slavery.
Right. But these guys who were talked into doing this thing on a basically uncharted island, they do not strike me as the brightest bunch. They are not going to have a map with them. Let's be honest.
Okay, you make a good point there. Obviously, they thought it was some sort of vacation spot.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, if you go around the island, it's not like there was a resort or something they started out in. It really is a large area of nothing.
I found a bit of backstory when you're in the cave where you're rescuing your friends that got captured by pirates, and you house them in this cave, this kind of safe house for a bit. And there's this little table every time you rescue one, and you can go. It's like a playable cutscene almost. Yeah, like a flashback. You take some. It's all drug based, so you take some pill or whatever. And I'm sure this is a thinly veiled Alice in Wonderland bullshit. Anyways, you know my thoughts on that. But you get these flashbacks where they're at this nightclub and they're like, we're gonna go skydiving tomorrow morning, and how they're already kind of running afoul of the locals at even the nightclubs and stuff because I think they're in Thailand or something like that, or somewhere in Southeast Asia, and it's they're rich asshole American kids who have a ton of money and are going to treat these other countries like it's their playground or whatever, and it catches
100%.
up with them, unfortunately. Well, or fortunately, because they're kind of dicks. I didn't care for them at all, any of them. I thought they were all dumb.
No, and I think that's kind of the point. It's just you're not supposed to really necessarily like these characters,
right?
And I kind of like the way you start off just the two of you in the cage, and you kind of have I can't remember Jason's brother's name. Grant, and he's the military guy, and you think, okay,
you got to have one of those.
This guy is going to sort things out. This guy knows what's up. He's going to be a big part of the game, and sort of breaks you out of the cage and starts making your way across the camp to escape, and just at the last minute, poor old Grant, and this isn't a spoiler, this is literally like the first 10 minutes of the game, he gets shot in the neck and killed.
Ugh, yeah.
And you're just like, well, now I'm fucked. And that sets you on your path of, I guess, revenge and finding that inner fucking monster that this main character becomes.
It led to your lifelong addiction to tattoos.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
But okay, let's talk about Jason Brody for a second. He is the main protagonist, the person you take control of. He is the guy who always, I don't know how to say it. He's the way he speaks, like he's on a mission there, and no matter what goes on, he's going to get his revenge.
Mm-hmm.
What was your thoughts on Jason Brody as a protagonist?
Well, I mean, he does sort of grow into that drive, that quest for revenge. But at the start of the game, he's kind of a wiener, if I'm
Yeah.
right. And
Actually,
he's kind of
he does,
kind of a wiener. Go on.
he does a curve. Yeah, he does a curve. Like I find him like kind of a, like you said, a wiener at the beginning. Then he becomes a likable character because he has a raison d'etre to be alive. And by the end of the game, he's a dick.
Yeah, you get the full arc.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, now you're a likable protagonist. By the end of the game, it's like, hey, you kind of lost me. You kind of went too long.
It's almost like he gets
Flew too close to the sun, Icarus.
Yeah, he gets like a taste for the the violence and the blood and stuff, and then he's just going off.
And Jungle Mummy.
Yeah, which I think is a very, very interesting story beat, and I'm going to get into that later on. But yeah, I like the way that he starts off, and he really kind of doesn't want to. Oh, obviously, he doesn't want to be there, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, obviously he's just this rich kid who's had the silver spoon up his ass all his life, and just kind of, it's very organic the way that he changes and sort of almost, the island kind of gets inside his skin and turns
Literally.
him
It
into
almost
this thing.
literally gets inside his... Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to kind of watch it happen.
Now, the other not main character, but the other character you see a lot of is the kind of, I guess, your early on guide. It's Dennis Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy who saves Jason from the Vaas's troops when he initially runs away at the beginning of the game. Throughout the game, Dennis is always going on about the Rakyat and their mission, their righteousness, and all that kind of stuff. I just got to say, and this is in no way, shape, or form targeted at anybody, but anyone out there named Dennis can get fucked.
Jesus. All right.
I'm just saying, if you're a man and a woman, you have a kid named Dennis, you're going to have a second kid guaranteed, because that Dennis sucks.
There's
Again, not targeted at anybody.
I don't know, I feel like there's a backstory there. I want to know.
I may not be talking about anybody in specific. I am also probably going to be locking my doors for a few weeks.
All I can think of is Dennis Reynolds from Always Sunny, and I can.
No, I'll tell you offline.
Dennis Reynolds is kind of a mean Dennis.
Yeah. There's an implication, definitely,
because of the implication.
Yes.
But anyways, but the character himself, okay, like I find him almost insignificant for how much he shows up, because his big thing there is just to tell you where to go next.
Yeah.
And he's only there until he's not needed anymore, but he's there right up until the end of the game.
Well, the funny thing is like I read some of the character bios, because like here's an annoying thing that really pissed me off about this game until I finally turned it off, is like everything pops up on the screen. It's just like, I don't need reminders about every little fucking thing. Just let me just go about my business. But for a while, it was like every time you meet a new character, it would like pop up on the screen. Press start, or like the start button on the PlayStation, and then it takes you to the part in the menu. So I read Dennis's biography. I was like, who's this dude? And it's funny because he's kind of a transplant too. It said he was born in Liberia and then emigrated to the United States and worked in the United States and was like a mechanic, and then was shady as a mechanic, and they kind of like ran him out of town or something like that, and he ended up on this island. So it's like he is also not native like Rakyat. He's a guy that just is on this island. He's a misfit, you know, like there are so many on this island, and he's kind of adopted their culture too.
Yeah, and the thing I found the weirdest about him is he tattoos people who are unconscious.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus.
And then sets them off on a mission, right? It's like, hello, you know, unconscious white person. You're now part of the Rakyat. I gave you the special tattoo that grows magically. Oh, you didn't want that? Oh, okay, well, too bad.
Yeah, they don't really... He's not given... You know, you talk about, like, the hero's journey and, like, the call to adventure or whatever, like... Jason Brody is not really given a choice. It's like, this is what you're doing.
Yeah, he was kind of...
Oh, yeah.
Can you say he was thrown down the rabbit hole?
Oh, shut up.
Oh.
God damn it.
But yeah, no, you're right. It's just like, this guy is so, like, convinced. He's so certain in his convictions that this guy he's literally just found is going to be a great warrior, a great hero, simply by virtue of not getting shot dead. And
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird... I mean, I guess he's kind of right, let's be honest, but it's a very interesting situation Jason finds himself in, like, right from the off. Tattoo's cool, though.
Oh, yeah. For the price he's paying for them, I'd get them.
That's a
The price
very...
is
But,
blood.
my understanding
yeah.
is that method of, you know, that kind of like Polynesian, like... Pacific Islander method of like tattooing like that with the hammer and like the ink. What I don't even know like what all those implements are called, but that's supposed to be very, very painful. Like not even more than
Not if you're unconscious.
right, but like even more so than, you know, our needle procedure now with, you know, all the tools that we have to do tattoos. Like that is a badass way to get a tattoo.
Oh, sure. Yeah, basically just hammering nails into your skin.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It's like,
Oh,
awesome.
yeah. It sounds awesome.
It sounds like fun.
But yeah. So Dennis acts as a guide through the beginning of the game until you meet a couple of other people. You'll meet a CIA agent named Willis Huntley, and then eventually you'll meet a double agent named Sam Becker. Mm-hmm. And those are the three main characters throughout the game that'll help you push the story forward and help you find your friends. Do you have anything to say about those last two characters? I mean, I like Sam Becker's character. He was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just kind of... He's having the most fun out of everyone, I think. The dude,
Oh, yeah.
The dude's literally on holiday. He's
He
just
just-
having a great time.
He just seems like he likes playing both sides and getting into the violence and the chaos. He's just like a pure, you know, like a chaotic good, basically, like, or chaotic neutral, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, depending on who he feels like hanging out with.
Willis Huntley reminds me of somebody, and I can't remember who it is, but I think it might be from a James Bond
it's
movie.
Jack Wade. It's
The American-
definitely Jack.
Is it Jack Wade?
He's like Jack Wade from GoldenEye. He's just like the, hey Jimbo, like, you know, he's like
Okay,
kind of
so
embedded.
I wasn't wrong
yeah,
on
he's
that.
like kind of embedded, but he's still very much American.
Yeah, okay, so I did have the right
Yeah.
feeling there. All right, let's talk about who we want to talk about the most, and the one everybody should know. He's on the cover of the game. That's Vaas Montenegro.
Oh, yes.
Played by, what's his name again? I meant to look that up.
Fucked if I know, but he's brilliant. He's brilliant in
Well,
this.
He plays Nacho in Better Call Saul.
It's his name is Michael Mando, I believe. And now I'm looking at the actor. The guy kind of looks like they modeled him after. Was this kind of also the beginning of, you know, like the graphical integrity of these games is so good that, you know,
Yeah.
you can have an
Well,
actor.
Far Cry 6 uses one Carlo Esposito.
Yeah, which actually kind of made me want to play
And-
that 'cause that guy's awesome. But
He is.
Yeah, so this guy gave his likeness to the game, and this is the first time I think I've ever saw him to the point I noticed him.
Yeah,
And what a performance, ha!
it's brilliant.
Like, yeah, He has a career before this and a pretty good career, but Vaas is
never heard
on
of
my
him.
top. Yeah, Vaas is on my top list of all-time villains, right up there with Kafka.
Oh God, yeah, the parallels, like that is such a good comparison because he's
insane.
He is, but at the same time, I guess kind of insane, but kind of just completely self-serving and just doing everything just for fun. It's just like, it's not necessarily that he's mad. He's just like completely amoral and just out for himself and just wanting to have fun and a good time, literally at everyone else's expense. It's just how he gets off. And like I said, I before this game, I'd never seen or heard of this guy before, so I got a kick when I saw this guy in something else. I'm just like, holy fuck, that's Vaas. And he's just... And Far Cry has such a good history of making these compelling and interesting antagonists, and to my mind, it really starts here with this guy.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Holy crap, he's in Rookie Blue. Oh, sorry, no, I don't watch that one. Never mind. No, it's just his lack of empathy. Sorry, I was looking at his IMDb list to see if there was anything else I noticed, but his lack of empathy throughout the game. The fact that he is one step ahead of Jason all the time, right up until the end. Mm-hmm. And when the game really gives you a good sense of, I got him this time, or I'm going to put a wrench in his plans, just to have Vaas turn around and, when he does it, every time Vaas shows up, you're about to go into what's called a story segment, and Far Cry likes to do that a lot, where you're kind of shoehorned into a mission that you get a handicap and you have to work your way out, like in the one case where you lost all your weapons and then you had to kind of kill your way into an arsenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it just does it so well. And then there's that scene in the middle of the game where, if obviously you're listening, so you heard that clip at the intro at the very beginning. Do you want to know what the definition of insanity is?
I was just about to bring
if you
that up.
watch that entire clip, like the whole sequence there, it is done so well that you can almost see a void inside of Vaas. As if he is processing but not processing what he's saying.
Well, here's what I was thinking is Vaas saying that he's insane because he's doing the same thing all the time? Or is he saying, I'm not sane, I'm driving you insane because I think he's doing this on purpose and putting Jason Brody through the ringer and torturing the shit out of him. Like, he's driving himself insane by having to fight his way out of these situations all the time. Like, he's creating a completely unhinged person.
I mean, bear in mind that he actively spares Jason at the start of the game. Like, he lets him run off. He's just like, he's all about
but he does shoot at him
at this
it's
point.
Like, go, run away, and then you're like running through the woods getting shot at.
Sure, but my interpretation of this whole meaning of insanity scene is just like, I feel like to Vaas, he's convinced that Brody is the one going insane, like, because he keeps trying these things and Vaas keeps stopping him, and he's just like, that's the definition of insanity. And what I don't think he realizes is that his repeated attempts to try and kill this, like, how many times does he kill, quote unquote, Jason Brody in this game, and this fucker just keeps on coming back. And it's just like, he doesn't realize that he himself is acting just as insane, because he just thinks he's right.
Yeah, that was going to be the point I brought up. Is I interpreted that scene as everything's insane.
Yeah, him
trying to kill Jason trying to kill him, them always ending up in the same situation. It always results in the same ending, and it just I feel like he's hyper aware while at the same time not being aware of it. I don't know, like, if there's a definition to that. So he knows what he's doing is insane, and he's explaining it to Jason, but then he sees that what Jason is doing is insane, and then he becomes aware of what he's saying, and then he explains it to himself about insanity, and it kind of goes back and forth for a couple of times, and he throws Jason in the water.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's all just kind of a game to him.
Yeah, and the acting is superb, so making him one of the best villains.
100%. I just feel like they've been chasing that Vaas high ever since Far Cry 3.
Now, we're going to get into some spoilers near the end of the episode, so that way if you're like right into the idea of playing this game, we can let you enjoy some of the big twists and stuff like that, because right up to now, nothing we've said is actually a spoiler.
No.
Let's get into the gameplay, though, because we could talk about the characters all day and just never stop talking. So it's pretty standard affair. You're a first-person shooter. You get 4 weapon slots. You have grenades, Molotov cocktails, mines, and C4 packs, and blah blah blah. You know the whole story. The gameplay loop in this one, though, is we explained it already. You find a tower, you climb the tower, you unlock that part of the map, and then you find these outposts where the pirates are holding, and on the map will be colored red around these outposts. And if you're in that side, that red zone, you're going to find a lot of pirates roaming around, and they will attack you on sight. So the big thing is you have to clear these outposts to clear the red zones, and once you do, there's no more pirates in that area. That first one in the tutorial section where you're with Dennis and he gets all the pirates together and it's like, we'll go on your command. Yeah. And then you sneak up to it and you like kill everybody. I thought the first time I played this game that every time you went to an outpost, you'd have a little army behind you. That was not the case.
No, not at all.
But, okay, I'm going to let you guys weigh in a second, but there's one thing that every time I played this game fucking drove me nuts. You clear an outpost, expertly sniping everybody, the flag goes up and you stand there and all comes in your allies, fresh from the hiding in the woods. And they pull in and there's always that one guy that goes, says something arrogant like, I got this, man, I got this. And it's like, no, you don't. You weren't here. I got this, you dick.
Yeah, you did fuck all.
Yeah,
fucking glory chaser. Jesus.
Every fucking time. Or then, oh no, you need to help harder, brother. And it's like, why don't you fucking pick up some of the slack?
I did really like these outposts, though. I mean, yeah, the main storyline is incredible. It's so much fun, but doing these bases and getting better at doing these bases was just such an enjoyable gameplay loop for me because, if you were able to sneak around hiding in bushes, maybe using a sniper rifle or the bow and arrow, what have you, and silently taking down enemies, and you managed to get this entire outpost done without raising a single alarm or being noticed or spotted or anything like that, it is such a satisfying feeling. And the game rewards you accordingly, which I thought was neat. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I mean, maybe less so when it all goes tits up and somebody spots you and then you find yourself in a firefight and then you've got backup coming in and all of the rest of it. But I don't know, when you just get that perfect infiltration and that perfect taking of the base, it's just, you do feel like you are one with the jungle.
Yep. Nothing pissed me off more than when I'd be aiming for the alarm box to prevent them from calling for reinforcements and you'd miss it.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody would go, hey, what was that? And then they'd set the alarm off and reinforcements would come in.
Yeah, they're not.
And the thing is, even if you die or you run away, as soon as you go back, the reinforcements are automatically called.
Yeah, they're not dumb, are they? I mean, in a lot of games, it's just like you shoot an arrow or shoot a bullet and it misses somebody. They're just like, oh, what's that? Must have been the wind. And it's like, okay, well, these guys are actually just like, well, that was a bullet, so I'm going to sound the alarm.
Unless it's a rock.
It's like,
I mean, because
that's
you can,
true.
Yeah, they're
kind
of dumb with rocks.
That's their blind spot. That's their total weakness. Is that they will chase a rock every single time.
Yeah. There was one outpost that I was having a bit of problems with. The reinforcements were called, and I was like, "There's no way I'm going to sneak around this because they're going to show up." So I pulled out the grenade launcher and just kind of went in and just started grenade launching them. And I think it took me about 8 grenades and I cleared the camp.
Oh, buddy, by the end of the game, I'd fully given up on sneaking around.
Yeah, those ones
with all
towards
of the
end.
upgrades.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with all of the upgrades and all of the weapons at my disposal, and one of those it's almost like a chain gun that those big fuckers carry around. I was just like, I was going in there, I wasn't dying, and just clearing it out, and that was actually a lot of fun as well. Just go full Rambo.
Because if you want to take the outpost without getting detected, you really have to rely on the takedown, which is like if you played Last of Us, or I guess that's kind of a, or even it's in Horizon too, and against certain enemies, you can sneak up on them from behind and just jab them in the neck, and there's even upgrades to that where you can stab them in the neck and then drag them off and drop their body so they're not found and stuff like that. Like, that's really how you have to do it if you want to go undetected. And if there's any more than one of those heavily armored dudes with the big, like, huge machine gun, like, you're fucked. Like, you can't sneak up on those guys and stab them. So
you can if you get the upgrade too.
Fuck
yeah.
me. God damn it. Like, I guess I didn't get that one. But still, it's like you said, Alan, like, towards the end, there's no way to sneak in completely and sneak through and steal these outposts, because there's too many enemies. They're overlapped. Their line of sights are all overlapped. There's snipers in the towers. There's armored dudes walking around. There's dogs. Like, anytime there's dogs, it doesn't help. And this game loses a point automatically for making me kill dogs. So sorry,
Fair.
but that's happening. I don't care if they're wild.
So
at first they were wild. It's like, well, they were attacking me, and it's like, then all of a sudden I started getting into these camps where it's like, that one has a collar though. Fuck you.
Yeah, and
That's
you
someone's
never
good boy.
like
Someone
to hear
called that dog
noise.
a good boy. Someone called that dog a good boy today, and I had to kill him. So, fuck you, Far Cry. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, speaking of killing animals, it's actually a very important part of this game, the hunting aspect, because a lot of your upgrades come through the hunting of animals, and you got a variety of animals that you get to hunt, like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, no lions, so. But it's just the animals differ in their temperament and stuff like that. Like, you'll have pigs that you can kill, and then to get fully upgraded, you have to go to the Path of the Hunter side missions and find the, like, uber animals, like the Black Panther that you have to take down with only a bow and arrow.
Yeah, and
that guy was a dick.
I didn't do any of those, because by the time I got to any point where I was considering doing any of those, I was already like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Those are actually more fun than the main games in some points, because, like, you're stalking a big animal and you had to find the specific one.
Well, shit.
And it actually became a little more fun because you're doing a hunting game now rather than like a run and gun shooter.
I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have to admit, like, back in the day when I played this game, I did everything. I got every collectible, went on every hunt. Like, this time I only really focused on the hunts that would get me those ultimate upgrades, because there are a few that just reward you with, like, money or experience or what have you.
Yeah.
But I really like this aspect of the game. I love the fact that you hunt to find materials, which then you use to craft upgrades, bigger bags, arrow quivers and things like this. And it's like, that is so on brand for what this game's trying to do, that it makes so much sense, and I love it for that.
I love that the map is marked with the specific type of animal that's common there, but when you go there, like if you're hunting deer, they're very docile, and you just take the sniper rifle out and you take it from a distance, but you might have dogs chasing it, or a tiger comes out of the wood and attacks it. It's
fucking pissed me off.
It's just
like not so much when I was just in the woods looking for animals. Like, that makes a little bit more sense, but like, I'd be trying to sneak up on an outpost, and like a tiger would just fly out of nowhere and kill me. I'm like, what the fuck? Fuck off. Like,
so
that's enough.
many
There's
times.
tigers in cages inside of the outpost. If you hit the cage, a tiger would pop out, and sometimes it would run out of the outpost and come after you.
Yeah, and that's fine. But like, if I'm sneaking around the perimeter of an outpost, I don't need a tiger to just randomly come and fuck with me. Like, I just wish that there was a way that they would create some sort of in-game, like, perimeter where, like, a wild animal doesn't go into an outpost or something. Like, let outposts be outposts and animals be animals.
That's not even
that's
like
part
a
of the
rare
realism.
It's
complaint.
not realistic. It's a video
it happens,
game. Like, I don't give a shit.
It happens so often.
It's annoying.
It happens so often.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, there's times. No, what really pissed me off is when I needed to find a tiger, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I need tiger skins now to finish off the whatever it is, and then like you're hunting around, it's like not a fucking tiger on the map. Like you hunted them extinct.
oh, and if I saw a tiger, driving around, I would definitely veer out of my way to hit it, because that was an easy way to get those like those tough animals, or like the ones that are dangerous. Like, I would just run them over, and then I'd real quick get out of the car and skin it, and then get back in the car.
I did the same with the sharks. I was just on a jet ski, just running sharks over.
Oh yeah, you can hit sharks with the jet ski.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too.
So that's a good tip. And the driving in this
Oh
game
fuck!
is
Do you
actually
know how I
pretty
got
good.
sharks?
Go on.
I got sharks literally by taking a boat and a sniper rifle.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
other
that
way
would
to do
work
it.
I would
too.
just
Yeah.
Yeah, I just float off there, and the shark would come around, and they fucking nail it with the sniper rifle, jump down or swim down and grab the shark skin, go back up.
No, I was
Sharks were stupid easy.
I was
Yeah,
just
they were.
buzzing around, just like da 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 da. Thunk. Ah,
Don't
there we go. I've hit a
But
shark.
don't get in the water and like get attacked by one, because that sucked. I got attacked by a shark.
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I prefer the fishing with dynamite method.
Right.
But all right, so yeah, the fucking two great aspects of the game, plus the what's it called, the crafting system. But there's also the weapons. What was your, I'm gonna call it favorite loadout? What was your favorite 4 weapons that you put in the wheel?
Well, definitely the bow.
Like,
I'd always have the bow on me because I loved that fucking thing. I got pretty good with it as well. There was this sniper rifle. So I'd basically have 2 sniper rifles. One that actually was, suppressed and quite quiet. And then there was this one signature sniper rifle that basically just shot fucking rockets or something. It was a beast. I can't remember what it was called, but I think it was a special weapon that you unlock. And this thing just like went off like a cannon and would cut through those heavies in just like one shot. It was
A sniper rifle that did that?
yeah, it's like a 50 cal sniper rifle. You get a taste of it in one of the missions when you're saving one of your buddies there.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, that was cool. I like that mission too.
Yeah, you can unlock that throughout the game, and then that thing is just basically a fuck you machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when things went to shit, I was just like, right, okay, well.
Yeah. I always had the same loadout. I always had an silenced assault rifle. By the end of the game, I was using the F1. Then I would have the sniper rifle silenced. I wouldn't get that like superpower killer. I think it was the Z93 is what I got. I would have either the grenade launcher or the rocket launcher because I like to snipe with precision, and rockets are precision stuff because they blow everything up.
Sure.
And then I would have, what was the light machine gun, the big 150 round just fuck you machine.
Yeah, I think I'm
I'm
pretty sure I had that as well.
Yeah.
When I get like blindsided or something, or like the dogs come after me and I'm like spraying and praying, I like to have 150 rounds because I'm taking everything out.
You don't have to be accurate if you never stop firing.
Exactly. Early on in the game, though, I did use a shotgun more often, but I fell out of love with that.
Oh, I like
Yeah, I
the
think
shotgun.
Never once in this run through did I use the bow and arrow.
I didn't
Really?
either. I didn't use it. I wish I would have though.
I just got a
I
kick out
used-
of like whenever you'd get a shot from, I don't know, 400, 500 yards away. It's just like so satisfying.
On my like previous run throughs, like the one I did earlier this year, I did use it for quite a while, but I don't know. This time I was going for speed rather than enjoyment, just to refresh myself on the story.
I'm pretty sure at one point I got a guy in the knee as well. So there you go.
Ouch.
Reminds me when I was playing, what's it called, Elite Sniper 4 or something like that. I had a buddy sitting over here, and we played the game where how many nut shots could we get?
Nice.
Because it does this slow motion thing where it does an X-ray of the body there, and if you hit the testicle will explode.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah, it is really fun.
I actually just wish that.
Okay.
I mean, this game does not pull any punches with, like the pirates being crass and, they're cursing and talking about how they're getting chlamydia and shit. Like, I wish that if you shot them in the crotch, they'd be like, "Oh, my dick!" Like that would have been fine. I would have enjoyed that.
that would have done it for you.
Yeah.
The old dick twist.
Did you guys actually take the time to play the poker?
Nope.
A little. I mean, you kind of have to.
A little. Like, you have to near the end, but you're just playing it for shits and giggles as opposed to the mandated story moments. Poker was a great way to get a lot of money, and it was actually really well done in this game. It almost, probably the most realistic part of the game is sitting down at the table and playing poker with a couple of guys.
Yeah. See, I'd be lying if I said I understand poker. It's not something I've ever even played in real life. I think my only experience of poker has been in video games, and I'm not great at it.
Well, in this game, you don't lose real money.
No, and that's
Right. Yeah,
good.
it's true.
That's why this is probably as far as I'll go, because
Stakes
in
are
real
low.
life, exactly. But it's a fun addition. It was kind of the thing at the time as well. You think about this, you think about your Red Deads and what have you. Everything just seemed to have a poker mode in it.
Well, yeah, what's it, the World Tournament or Poker Tournament or whatever they call it that they consider a sport nowadays is plastered all over TV, and you got, the same looking guy with the hoodie, the guy with the glasses, the guy with the cap, all sitting there like they're some sort of master manipulators.
Yeah, and that was actually cashing in on that fad because the poker that you play in this game is specifically Texas Hold'em. You get the two cards, and then and then the draws for the pot or whatever. Yeah, it's very of its time.
There was times, like I said, this was a speed run through for me, like not a speed record run through, just me going as fast as I could from left to right. But when I played it earlier this year, I actually spent a day playing poker because I found that more enjoyable at the time than playing the rest of the game. Like, your friends are dying and you're sitting there having a game of Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
It's certainly less stressful than playing blackjack in Resident Evil 7. If you know, you know.
I don't, but I'm going to laugh with you anyways.
Look it up and thank me later.
I probably will. The upgrade system in this game is done, I guess, almost generically, because you get a skill point. One skill point unlocks something off of a skill tree. You got 3 skill trees. One does long range takedowns and mobility. The other is assault takedowns and healing. And the last one is stealth takedown and survival. I spent most of my time trying to make sure my health was maxed out before I went for anything else. But by the end of the game, I was just kind of picking what was ever next.
Yeah, same. Definitely. And it gets to the point when you've upgraded all of your health and everything like that. I mean, did you... Because I know I did. I kind of fell off of crafting... Because you can craft a variety of, I guess, injectable potions.
Yeah.
And one of which, of course, is... Sorry, you didn't?
No.
Not even the healing?
No, because eventually I would just...
Like, that's all I did.
Because you could heal without those. I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
the
that's
greatest
it.
You
healing,
could,
but it worked in a pinch, and then I didn't have to craft items. And also, like, the buffs... It was stupid. Like, there's plants all over the place. You can craft these syringes that are either for healing or buffs. And then, like, the buffs, like the flame one, I was like, I'm going to use this flame one before I go do this because I want to throw a Molotov. It lasted 15 seconds. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, give me 30 seconds at least. Like, come on. And I understand that there were, like, ways to increase it and all that kind of shit. But it's just, no, these are fucking useless. And they just take up space. And they're not easy to use. The inventory system sucked.
See, I used the healing because when you upgraded your character there, one of the things was to increase the amount the healing syringes did, or like the amount of healing they did. And when you had 6 to, I think 6 was the max, or maybe it was 8 health bars there, and your healing thing heals 6, whereas if you don't have any, it only heals 2. Definitely worth
You
it.
could get it to
I mean,
where it
yeah,
heal
I was-
3. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say because like I was using the healing syringes at least at first, but as the game went on, and I'd upgraded my ability because if you don't have syringes to heal yourself, this guy will literally, and it's great. Like I actually like the animation a lot more than I like the syringe animation because like
Yeah.
Brody will literally just like his arm will come on the screen and maybe like pop his thumb back into socket or get a knife and dig a bullet out of his arm and wrap it and what have you. And it was just like that's okay, stretching credibility a little bit, but it's cool to watch. And it would.
Yeah, considering that bullet always hits the same spot.
Yeah,
I
it's
know,
always,
right?
It's always in his arm and like in the middle of one of his really important Rakyat tattoos. Like it's not going to heal back right, but whatever. Just
well,
dig
it's
a knife
magic
in there
tattoo.
and pop it out.
No, I found the upgrade system, like, even though it was very generic, early on in the game, it really helps you out. I didn't hate it in this game, but I don't know, I guess, I don't know if I found it pointless, or I can't even remember how Far Cry 5 did it, if they even had one, but,
I don't recall.
eh,
But I tell you what I did like about this upgrade system is that certain tiers of upgrades were locked behind certain story missions.
yes.
That was good.
So, and I thought because by the end of the game, you really do feel like a fucking beast, and I thought the game did a good job of sort of portioning that out so you couldn't OP too early, because that way the upgrade system kind of follows the story of the game in quite a clever way. Like you sort of get to a suitable amount of power with this character as he's sort of learning the ways of the jungle. I just thought that was really cool.
What I found really good about this game is when you hit a specific point in the game, and if you're fully upgraded to that point, when you get to the latter half of the game, it almost feels like you're given a handicap again, and when you continue to upgrade until you like unlock it all, you get that feeling of becoming overpowered again.
Yeah.
And at least to me, like when you got to the second half of the game, and we'll get into that in the spoiler section, yeah, you got the third tier of unlock, like upgradables, and that area was high enough level and different types of enemies that it changed how effective your weapons were. Like my sniper rifle was no longer one killing somebody in a chest shot. You had to hit a headshot to do that.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't know if I have a lot to say anymore, like what's left of the game outside of the spoilers section. So do you guys have anything you want to say before we jump into the spoiler section?
I mean, if I may just get something off of my chest, the fall damage in this game is fucking obnoxious. I mean, you literally have to just fall like 3 feet out of the air, and like this guy would just crumple. And like I guess they're going for realism, but I have pulled 40 or 50 bullets out of this guy's arm.
And he's fine.
with a knife. It's just like you can't have your cake and eat it. That's like the full damage is probably my biggest gripe in the game, and responsible for I guess 99% of my deaths in this, and it's obnoxious, and it's gonna lose a point because of it. It just made
You get
especially on those fucking towers. Jesus.
Oh,
yeah, you get the wingsuit way too late in
And
this
the
game.
wingsuit
Oh, I
didn't,
love
there
that
was,
thing.
There was a time when I was like, oh, you know what? I gotta escape from this bullshit, and there's like a jeep down below that I need to get to. I'm gonna be clever, and I'm gonna jump off this cliff and use the wingsuit and like glide down to this jeep. The fucking L3
James Bond style.
It never popped up, so he just fell to his death. I have to like before we there's like probably 2 or 3 like major gripes that I had throughout the game that I want to just get into real quick before we get into spoilers, because I think then we'll
No, that's what this part here is here for.
Yeah, we'll get back into story then. This game, I think I played it on PS Plus. I did some reading online. I think the PS Plus version is the kind of quote unquote original version.
Graphically enhanced.
Yeah, and it does look great. But like man, gameplay. We'll start here. Gameplay. I think that the guys, the enemies in the camps were sometimes a bit too sensitive. Like, if you want me to sneak around, let me sneak around. Honestly, like, they were a bit too sensitive. Like, they can see through shit. Like, there's no fucking way I'm, 50 meters away and behind a bush, and you're starting to see me. So that got difficult to navigate. I didn't enjoy that. The inventory system sucked ass, and maybe that's just the PS5 port or whatever. Like, I don't claim to know much about this, but like, switching weapons was not easy. Like, I'd be jamming on buttons and they wouldn't be doing anything. Like, I'd have to press and repress to get things to happen. I didn't like that. And then it was too late. By the time you didn't switch a weapon when you wanted to and weren't already firing, it's too late. You're swarmed with enemies and you're fucked. Like, there's just so much backsliding that happens when things aren't going the way that you're intending them to go, when you're trying to flip weapons in the weapons wheel. I didn't use the syringes because, like, I couldn't figure out how to access them for the longest time. Then finally, when I did, it was like, you have to open the weapons wheel and then open another, like, wheel within the wheel to, like, even get one out. And then after all of that, they only last for 15 seconds. It's like, no, fuck these things. I'm not using them. I don't care. They're not worth it.
Now you know how your girlfriend feels,
right. Hiding behind cover and getting shot through the cover was fucking pissing me off. Like, don't have cover if it's not gonna matter. Like, if it's just a, like, boomer shooter run through and just kill everything, but no, this was meant to be a bit of a stealth and tactical type, cover shooter, and guys were running up and just, like, head on shooting me from behind. Like, I'm behind cover. Like, I should be able to hide behind cover and at least get a moment to, like, reload a weapon or make my next move. So that was pissing me off. I think it was glitchy as hell, and that was part of what I was researching when I was looking things up, because there were times when there was one particular mission where I was supposed to loot a body that was on a bridge to get a list of contacts or whatever bullshit. You have to fight your way through. It was kind of a cool mission, actually, because you had to, like, kind of fight your way through a base that was, like, in a canyon or, like, in a river bed or whatever. And so you were, like, zip lining across this river back and forth, and that was cool. But anyways, you get to the bridge, and, like, half the time I would get to the bridge, and then the body that I was supposed to loot, like, wasn't there. There were a couple other glitchy things where, like, it just would not progress the mission forward to get you to the next objective, and I would have to, like, restart missions and replay shit, and that grinds on me more than anything, is, like, having to do the same fucking thing over and over again just because maybe Vaas was doing that on purpose. That's the definition of insanity, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what, though? I can't say I had any of these issues whatsoever, and I was playing on the, like, original Xbox 360. I was just having a look.
Yeah, that's part of what I saw, was that the console versions at the time for, like, PS3, Xbox 360 were better than the, I guess, whatever the original was a PC version, right?
Well, I'm just having a look now while you're talking, and I'm seeing all kinds of issues with the PS4 port of this game. Yeah. So,
yeah, there's a lot of problems with it, and maybe I would have liked it better. I ran
into zero problems in the game. Like, honestly, all these glitches you've mentioned,
I had tons of them.
I never run into any.
I never saw it.
Like, they seem to be pretty intermittent, because, like I said, like, I could restart a mission and replay it, and then it wouldn't happen. So it's like,
no, I mean, at most what happened is, like, I would get, like, locked into a piece of scenery, like, if I was stuck in, like, a crack somewhere, and even then the game just kind of booted me out after a while. So, it wasn't that big a deal, but certainly no glitches like you're talking about. That's interesting.
Yeah, I just, man, it made it very unenjoyable to play. So I don't know. I had to throw those things out there. Like, I think it's clunky. I think it's very ambitious. Did a lot of things really well, but overall just really freaking buggy and clunky and not very fun. But anyways, let's you want to do spoiler territory?
Yeah, all
Let's
right,
do
all
it.
right. I'll set it up. All right. So if you have found interest in playing this game and you don't want anything spoiled, now is your warning to leave the episode and give us a 5-star review and a comment on how great we are on your favorite podcasting platform of choice. But after I finish this sentence, we're getting into the spoilers. So to explain kind of why we said this spoiler cast is coming in is because Vaas is not the main villain of the game. Even though he's the best villain of the game, basically the best character of the game, you kill him in the first half of the game. And it sucks because the other villain is just a dick. He's just a generic bad guy, Hoyt Volker. Even the other villain in the game, Buck Hughes, the guy who has your friend Keith there and makes you go find the knife, he is more interesting than Hoyt Volker, who is the final enemy of the game. Also, other characters, you're going to meet somebody named Citra Talugmai, the sister of Vaas, who is the leader of the Rakat and Dennis's mentor. And she is kind of like a whole cult religious goddess thing, and she keeps feeding you drugs and having sex with you. And they're very graphic what they're going to show you, so you get a good show going on. And then, of course, you have your two other buddies we mentioned earlier. So once you kill Vaas, you unlock the second island, and that's where I was saying you get the third tier of upgrades, and the whole game dynamic changes because you have to infiltrate this whole new island that you don't have a map of. I want to know what you guys thought of how they handled this, having Vaas, the main face of this game, turning out to be the villain that you kill halfway through it. Good or bad?
It's certainly weird. I mean, like, yeah, I went into it like you guys were talking up Vaas, and I was like, yeah, this guy is a real bad dude, and I was surprised when I killed him. I was like, oh, that was it. He's on the cover. Like, it seems like they knew he was the best they had as far as a villain character, and they just, for whatever reason, there's someone behind him pulling the strings. But whatever. I mean, like, it's not as flashy, or maybe they did that because they actually got a pretty good actor to be Vaas, and they're like, well, let's just showcase this dude. Like, he can be the cover.
I kind of wonder if partway through development they ended up thinking he was a better villain, so they used him.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's
Alan,
more of that, like more of like the cart before the horse kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah, Alan, do you want to weigh in on this?
I do, and I have a completely different theory. Because like you guys, the first few times I played this game, I was in the same boat. I sort of thought, well, okay, like, you've suddenly given me this old bait and switch, and now I am up against a far less interesting villain, almost out of thin air. But this guy, Hoyt, was it Hoyt?
Yeah, Hoyt.
Oh, it's late. I'm tired. This guy Hoyt, he is seeded throughout the game as basically the corrupting influence on this island. So this time round, I did notice his sort of influence in the background a lot more. And what I found interesting about having this guy being the main villain is that he's kind of a reflection of Citra, in so much as they're both these very charismatic people who are responsible for these two different factions on the island. And when you look at it that way, you get a far more interesting view of the fact that Jason Brody and Vaas are basically different sides of the same coin. They're both being influenced by this higher sort of authority on the island and corrupted to follow their belief system, to follow their wants, and basically do their bidding for them. That's why I think it's actually a lot more interesting that you kind of kill Vaas off, and then Jason Brody almost becomes him he comes very close to that line of basically just being exactly the same person. And that's, their interactions throughout the game kind of frame them as being equally insane. And I just found that ending a lot more interesting when you think about it like that.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, makes sense.
Never really thought of it that way.
It's only this time round playing it that I thought of it, and it's just like, I mean, if we can sort of get into a little bit of the ending there, I mean, that's what ending did you guys pick for this game? Which one do you like the best?
Jungle Mummy.
Yeah, I actually did that too, just because I was so irritated by the end of the game. It was like it's like his friends were captured or whatever. You have the basically, if you're listening and you don't care and are into spoilers, you have the choice to kill Citra or kill your basically your American girlfriend that you saved. It's his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just like, at this point, I was so irritated with this game, and I was so ready to be done. I was like, it's your fucking fault I'm here in the first place. I'm killing you. So I killed the girlfriend and not Citra.
And you
Now, I've seen both endings.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I'd be interested to know what happens on the other ending, because I'm not going to play it again.
Well,
go on, Brian.
Well, I'll tell you offline. Okay, I'll explain here. The other
spoilers.
ending, basically, you turn around and you say you're not going to kill your friends, and then Dennis comes to attack you, but Citra steps in front, and Dennis ends up stabbing Citra right between the breasts. And he kills her, so it breaks Dennis, and then you just kind of walk off into the distance.
What?
And see,
that's dumb.
No, you see, now this is where I'm sort of flip-flopping, because I don't like the stay ending, if we want to call it that. Simply because, you go with Citra, and, she steals your precious seed to create the ultimate warrior, and kills you. And that is...
Don't care, had sex.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, had sex.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But it would have been far more interesting if you'd have stayed on the island, and it would have been a much more effective ending had you stayed on the island and actually became the warrior that they all wanted you to be. It didn't make sense to me that she would just kill him off after all of that. And
Right.
the reason that I prefer the leave ending is because that's literally pulling, like, Jason Brody pulling himself back from the brink. Like, if he goes a step further, he becomes Vaas. He becomes the thing he was fighting all along throughout the game.
It's like it's Heart of Darkness.
But that's not the only thing. Yeah, it's not the only thing, though, as well. Jason stays true to himself in the Leave the Island ending because his goal was to save his friends.
Yeah.
And get revenge on Hoyt, because Hoyt was holding his other brother. And he does that. Once he gets his revenge, he takes his friends and he goes home.
Yeah.
And that's him being true to himself, where you're right, the other one is him kind of falling into the Vaas style insanity, even though he doesn't get very far with that one.
Yeah, and it would have been a
goes
much
all the
more
way with
effective
that one.
ending. Yeah, all the way. But yeah, it would have been a much more effective ending if you could actually see, like, that's what he's become. And that's why I think that ending kind of sucks.
Yeah, they could have done it better. I mean, if he stayed alive, it would have been nice.
Exactly. But yeah, as it is, if he leaves, and he fully in the little voiceover at the end, he's just like, I am never coming back from this. I am a monster, but I'm going to try to do better. And it's just like, cool, you have broken the cycle. Like, you are now trying something different, and therefore have not fallen into the trap of insanity.
You've crawled out of the rabbit hole.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Do you think they were trying to set it up for like a sequel? Like, she's got his seed or whatever. Like, you play as Jason Brody's stolen.
Oh, Womb Warrior 7.
No, I think they were just going for shock value.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, these are one-off stories. I mean, outside of Far Cry 5 for sure, and I don't think any other one has really done it, is the DLC doesn't really doesn't connect to the main game overly.
The DLC for Far Cry 3. Are we talking about...
Does it connect to the main game?
What, Blood?
No, I was like...
Blood Dragon, which is one of the greatest Far Cries ever made. We'll have to talk about that one day.
Yeah, but... Well, yeah, but is it connected directly to Far Cry 3?
No, it's the same map, and it's set in a... Have you not played Blood...
Okay, so...
Have you not played Blood Dragon?
No, actually, I haven't, because it's like the only DLC I don't own. I forgot about it.
Oh my god! Basically, it's the same island, but it's set in a sort of techno future. And Michael Biehn.
You had me.
Michael
You had
Biehn
me
is
at
there.
more Far Cry 3.
There are neon dinosaurs roaming around. It's awesome.
But Far Cry 5, New Dawn, actually takes place after the events of Far Cry 5.
Yeah, I still need to play that.
So my main point was towards Sam is there is no DLC except for that one that takes place after the main story.
True enough.
There we go. And we're back on track. God, that's kind of I actually had a point that I wanted to bring up, and I remember what it is. Never mind, I'm back. Thing I didn't like about this game in total, when you got rid of all those outposts or encampments, all the pirates disappeared. So once you got rid of them all, there was no pirates. You would just run around the island all free and breezy. There was no danger anymore.
I was thinking about that. What happens when you clear all these? Because there's... Yeah, that's what creates the danger zones. But I did see something in the menu. You could go in the menu and reset them all. You could reset them all.
Could you?
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know that. That would actually have been
It would have been useful, too, because I really wanted to get this... there's an upgrade called Ninja Step, and you had to... The only way that you could use a skill point to unlock it was if you had liberated 2 outposts without being detected at all, and I only ever did 1. By the time I figured out that I could do that, I tried to do, I was trying to do it, but by that point I was too far into the game where it was some of them are just impossible. But there's some where there's outposts where there's only 2 dudes in them.
Yeah. There's some where it's just all dogs and you can just pick them off from a distance,
or that.
you dog-hating bastard.
Yeah, just...
Gross.
That's actually a really useful toggle for that, or just extends the gameplay. If you just want to go.
Well, if I'd known that, I remembered the story, so the only reason I restarted was to get used to the weapons and the combat and all that stuff again. But when I restarted my file from the end, I couldn't find an enemy at all. It was a completely void map, and honestly, that takes away from the overall gameplay. Again, sure. I'm going to go back to the Far Cry 5. Well, they're always roaming around the countryside and stuff like that, driving in trucks, or they'll be on the side of the road or walking through the woods, regardless if you've taken out the outposts or not.
Right.
So yeah, that's just my point on that one. I don't have much left to say. Are you guys ready to wrap this up?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
All right. Alan, I'm going to let you go first, and then we're going to follow it up with myself, and I'm going to let Sam go last, because I think Sam is going to have the best take on this game.
It's certainly going to be the most interesting one.
Yes.
This game is entirely unapologetically 2012, isn't it? It's, so edgy and just full of all that juicy violence and drug references, and we didn't even talk about the music. I mean, there are some great licensed tracks in here. I mean, that scene when you're burning down the marijuana field and
and you can get high
Skrillex
from it.
is playing. Yeah, and with this, I had Skrillex stuck in my head all day, and that hasn't happened in a decade. This game blew me away when I first saw it. I mean, visually, it's stunning. I mean, the island... It's a big part of why this is probably my favourite Far Cry game, because the island setting, I just find that so much fun and so visually interesting to explore. Not to say that the other games suck in that respect, but this just kind of feels like taps into that Lost kind of vibe that I just enjoy so much. The gameplay loop, again, the first-person shooter sneaking. I mean, I think the stealth is done pretty well in this game. and you know it is enjoyable when you're taking over those outposts. So I do enjoy the gameplay quite a lot. I mean, I found the game just slick and easy to play, but that's probably owing to the fact that this is not my first rodeo. I mean, it's not without warts. I think it's kind of indicative of the time. That fall damage can fuck all the way off, and like I said, coupled with that tower mechanic, I just don't think it's incredibly well implemented in this game. And my absolute nightmare is falling off one of these towers and then dying at the bottom and then getting attacked by a tiger. That's just everything that I hate about this game in one place. But I think it's just incredibly ambitious for the time. It still holds up today. It's as good to look at now as it was back then, and it's got Vaas in it. And again, like you said, when you drew that comparison with Kefka, I don't think that's a stupid thing to have in the same sentence. He's iconic, and just makes for an absolutely brilliant game. I'm not going to give it the 8 that I kicked things off with, because that'd just be too obvious. I'm going to give it an 8.5. It definitely loses something for some of the gameplay jank, fall damage, and all of the rest of it, but I still had a fucking blast, and I will play it again one day. I need to get to some of the other ones, Far Cry 2 and then New Dawn and onwards, but I love a Far Cry game. And that's
all right, well said. So 8.5 from Alan. I'm going to go next. I'm going to start with Vaas. He's the main reason this game ranks so high on my list of Far Cry games. What a wonderful villain. Somebody who you absolutely love to hate. And when he shows up, and the acting from Michael Monato, or whatever his name was, just outstanding. The guy is phenomenal when he acts in anything, and this is no difference. The story is really good, even though I find it gets kind of unhinged after a little bit there, but it all pulls together in the end. The world is beautiful, but it is sparsely populated. Even though there is a lot to do, there is a lot of open area as well, and that's where you run into a lot of animals, and there are so many animals out there that just want to attack you. Mm-hmm. Biggest thing I had with this game was making money was hard, because anytime I made any significant amount of money, I would have to reload my character, and that would eat up my entire wallet.
Oh yeah.
But that was neither here nor there, because you unlock the weapons by doing stuff throughout the game, like unlocking towers or taking out outposts. I enjoy the taking out of the outposts. Like Alan said, I enjoy doing it silently. I love using the sniper rifle and just sitting there, and first thing I'll always do is find a high point to look down and take the camera out, and you would just scan and it would mark all the enemies. Then I'd look for patterns of people moving and who I could hit first without alerting anyone else. It was meticulous for me. I find it relaxing in a murderous sort of way. I like the hunting. The hunting was done really well. When I wanted to hunt something, it was where the map said it was going to be, so there was no surprises. Yes, sometimes the tiger would jump out of the woods and just maul you. You couldn't get away from it, but c'est la vie, I suppose. Everything else Alan said, the music in this game, especially the Skrillex track during the Burn the Weed Field mission, that was really fun. I guess I'm just going to rank it, because I don't really have anything to say beyond what Alan said. So he gave it an 8.5. I'm going to give it the 8. I'm honestly going to give it the 8 because I do compare this game to Far Cry 5, and we've had this conversation, Alan. I still think Far Cry 5 just ekes this one out because it got rid of the towers. And I find the gameplay in 5 just a little more fun, even though it's a sparsely populated map.
I respect that.
So yeah. So that's why I'm gonna knock this down. It does have a couple of things that really do irk me. Like you said, the fall damage, the fact that you don't get the wingsuit till later on in the game. How Sam said it's very touch and go to use sometimes. The difficulty spike halfway through, the fact that the good villain died halfway through the game for some generic I can't even remember what he was about villain. So yeah, I'm going to go 8 out of 10. Sam?
Wow. For how you guys talked this up, I
breathing.
thought you guys were going to go higher than that.
Well, you got to be objective.
All right, well,
Also, we were doing it just to goad
it's
you
an
on.
8 for me. No. I'm not going to go back into all the reasons why I didn't like this game. I had stretches where I was having a lot of fun with it. You know, I there were a couple times where I would like kind of hit my stride and like, yeah, taking out outposts, clearing towers. You know, I'd pick up a mission here and there to advance the story, and you know, it was very rinse and repeat. But there were points where I was having a good time with it, and then there were other points later on when I was really not having a good time with it, and I think those far outweighed the times that I was enjoying it. So yeah, I don't want to belabor those points. One thing we forgot to mention when you were going through the outposts and trying to decide how best to infiltrate it with stealth, you could use your camera and mark enemies. That was kind of cool. And they wouldn't appear on your mini map until you had taken like a little photograph of them to register them. So that was kind of neat. Other than that, I will take and give a point. I'm taking a point off for making me kill dogs. That I hate that in any game. Don't make me do it. And then I give a point back for the fact that you burn the pot field and he gets high. You could see the it wasn't terrible. Like you could still function. So it's kind of like being actual high. So like it just kind of like blurred the edges of the screen a little bit and made things like a little bit wavy. So it's like you definitely could tell like something definitely happened because you were standing in the smoke, but you can still go ahead and play the game. I thought that was pretty fun. That was a nice touch. So man, I know it's been done better. This is very ambitious, so I respect it for what it was, but I just think that the glitchiness, the shitty inventory system, some of the gameplay just wasn't fun for me. I'm giving it a 5.5.
Wow.
And that's with so it would have been a 6. Wait, hold on. Would have been it was a 6.5. No, whatever. I'm not doing the math. I took a point away for the dog and I gave a point for the pot. So it's a 5.5.
With his 2.5 point handicap, that brings it up to an 8.
No, it's a 5.5. If anything, it's a 3.5. I gave it extra points for how good the story is and how ambitious I don't enjoy the Alice in Wonderland tropes. I think that's overplayed and stupid. You're not clever if you do that. I'm sorry. But in general, the story was pretty cool. So 5.5.
All right.
Oh, I love it. I love
5.5 from Sam, an 8 from me, and an 8.5 from Alan. I'm not going to get into any long outro here, boys. I'm just going to spout off some stuff and we'll call it a day. So if you want to say your goodbyes now, I'll get to the boilerplate stuff and then we can call it a night.
Bye.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. As always, we appreciate you.
All right, thanks, fellas. And if you want to join in on the action, you can over at patreon.com/retrotopia, where you can join for free. And with that free stuff, you get the extra show called Quick Play every 2 weeks. One of us will review a short game, often chosen by members of our hero tier, which you could join for just $2 a month. Also, you'll get Retro Bites 15 days early. You'll be able to participate in polls, both by suggesting topics and by voting on said polls, and you'll be able to comment on the show and the comment to the host of the show every week. Also, if you want to find our social media, you can do so at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. There's a link to all of our social medias, a link to our Discord, which we hope you join, and a link to our merch store, which is where we have our merch. Also, if you can leave a 5-star review and a comment there if you want, that would be much appreciated. It helps us get seen. So thank you from myself, from Alan, from Sam. We were talking about Far Cry 3 today, a very, very good game in the first-person shooter realm when Ubisoft was actually a good company. Until next time, remember, you can kill dogs as long as you burn some weed.